A very warm welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're jumping aboard with Cathay Pacific aboard an Airbus A321neo in their newest short-haul business class. As ever, we'll be taking a look at the seats, the food, the lounges, and so much more, so let's get into it. You join me today in beautiful Manila, Philippines, where we'll be checking in for this flight. Now, being a business class flight, of course, it was the priority check-in that I had that morning, and it all worked silky smooth. Alrighty, well that was as seamless as you'd hope for at this time in the morning. From here, apparently no priority security, but hopefully it shouldn't be too busy, and then it'll be through to the lounge. Not quite sure which lounge I'm going to be heading to, so I guess we'll find out together. Let's get to it. Now, given the time of day, it was nice and quick through security and then onto the lounge. Now, I didn't really know here where to go. There was a few signs to follow, but ultimately I didn't know quite what to expect. After I checked in, I got a little lounge invitation mentioning the Cathay Pacific lounge. I didn't think for 1 minute they'd actually have their own lounge here, but sure enough, Cathay Pacific are one of the very few airlines that do. Now, Cathay lounges are always pretty good, so without further ado, I'm going to head on down to it and we'll see exactly what it's like. Now, one aspect I do particularly like when it comes to Cathay Pacific is how wonderfully uniform their lounges are around the world. Now, there would be many very good contenders for this very top accolade, but I actually think the Cathay Pacific have the very best lounges anywhere across the planet, definitely, in my experience. This one was no different. It had many of those signature elements you come to expect, be it the live cooking stations, multiple different relaxation areas, and of course an absolutely fantastic bar. Arriving into the lounge, I have to say, I felt incredibly fortunate. I was the only one in there. That definitely made filming incredibly easy and straightforward, but that actually stayed the way for a really long period of time. Of course, this is just a short-haul, narrow-bodied aircraft flight today, so of course there isn't the huge amount of passengers in the lounge as you'd expect with a far larger, wide-bodied aircraft. For me personally, it was then straight along to the bar to make full use of the various different selections that they had. Alrighty, so the time is 3:14 in the morning. What do we even drink at this time? Well, I've gone for a Cathay Delight. It's one of their signature drinks here at the lounge. It's non-alcoholic, but maybe a few bubbles a little bit later as we jump on board. But for now, cheers. Really is no lounge like a Cathay lounge. Still an hour or so in, I've got the whole thing to myself. I've never been quite so fortunate. It almost feels like one of those ultra luxury private jet type of services. Won't be long just now before heading down to board the aircraft. I'm expecting a pretty brand new Airbus A321neo today. It's always been something that I've been keen to check out with Cathay, or make a change from the older Airbus A330 that I'm going to be reviewing in a separate video. But for now, I'm going to head on down to the gate and we'll jump on board and see what life is like. Alrighty, so that is us boarding a long time before any other passengers, so you should get a really good look at this fantastic cabin. Oh, don't you just love it when you're one of the very first passengers aboard the flight? Definitely makes my life an awful lot easier when it comes to the filming. So as for this cabin, nice and new, and my goodness, did it present exactly how you'd expect. Seats here laid out in a 2-2 configuration. So that's us back on board with Cathay Pacific. Always a pleasure, but I must say, this is the best narrow-body business class I've ever seen. It looks absolutely fantastic. And as ever, over the next couple of minutes together, we'll check out the full features of the seat together. Stay tuned. my oh my, with a seat this good, where do you start? Well, let's start with the approach to it and what was awaiting the business class passengers as they jumped on board. Firstly, a high quality pillow and also a blanket. Now, talking to those creature comforts, I will get the seat down more into bed style of mode later into the flight so you can see the full creature comfort elements of it. For now, a few more features to focus on: individual air vents and reading lights. That's always something that I really like to see. That, of course, alongside a decent entertainment system that we'll check out a little bit later on, but frankly, I couldn't believe the size of these seats, particularly on what was a narrow-bodied business class. Looking across the cabin, I actually thought it looked really smart. They've resisted the temptation, as many airlines have gone down the route of infusing a lot of bling, instead gone for quite neutral, quite calming colours. And one aspect that I particularly liked about the seat is that every element of space was utilised, where it's a little space for charging, storage, etc. I thought the overall layout was really interestingly done and actually in quite a unique style of way. Now, in terms of the seat controls, these were nice and easy to use. Sometimes I can be a little bit critical of other fellow modern business class seats. Here, the controls can be slightly overly technical on screens. It's so much easier to have them on buttons. In terms of privacy, there wasn't loads in this style of seating. It's not like the more wide-body suites. However, those dividers help to break up some of the sidelines. And finally, I couldn't quite work out what it was at first, but that's a little holder up there for your headphones. Now, whilst we'll cover off all things food and beverages a little bit later on, this is as good an opportunity as ever for me to awkwardly show you how to operate the table using just one hand whilst filming with the other. Now, rest assured, if you are doing this with two hands for the first time, it's going to be an awful lot easier. And overall, I thought the design and layout of the table was really very well done. Now, with all of that exploring, I'd worked up a little bit of a thirst, so there was a round of drinks that came around, lots of top-ups throughout the service, and even a hot towel. So, after all of that exploring and being thoroughly glad with the seat experience, it was time to sit back, get relaxed, and get ready for the pushback. Or should we push back and get ready for takeoff? I should say, if it's your first time tuning into the channel, I'd love to have you subscribed. I post similar content on a weekly basis, and by subscribing, you won't miss an upload. So feel free to do so. It'd be great to welcome you on board. For now, let's get set. We're bound for Hong Kong. Well, despite the insanely early start to the day, I think my alarm went off around 1:30 in the morning. The sun was just starting to break, and of course we were taking it to the skies. In terms of first things first, when it comes to all things in-flight review, we'll kick off with a look at the entertainment. Now, when it came to the entertainment itself, goodness, did they do well on this front. I'm always so impressed with some of these new screens they have aboard modern aircraft. They make the outgoing ones look so small, so burnt out, and I'm glad to say that Cathay had a good amount of content installed as well. Accompanying that was a high quality pair of headphones, so it's a good time to get relaxed into the seat and await the food and beverage service coming a little bit later. Now, just before doing that, we will take a quick look at the onboard Wi-Fi. I'm glad to be able to say that yes, there was Wi-Fi available on board. This was footage taken from a slightly different flight. However, on this flight, it didn't differ at all. Pleased to say, as ever, that there was free Wi-Fi for business class passengers. You rarely see this, even in this day and age, so it's good to see. So cheers, here's to that, and here's to what's going to be an interesting food and beverage experience coming along. Now, when it comes to the food and drinks, we'll firstly start off with a quick look at the menu. Now, this is an area I thought Cathay did well. The menus were well presented, had a really good choice of different wines and even champagne available for breakfast. On the food front, it was indeed going to be that breakfast service with more than enough choice, I think. Here, they were off to a pretty good start. Overleaf was then yes, as you'd expect, the non-alcoholic drink options with a range of different teas, other hot and cold drinks that you could go for. And voila, here we go. So I went for the omelette that morning. I was impressed actually with the presentation, how everything came together, had a nice couple of accompaniments from the croissant through to the fruit. So it's high time to start getting dug in. And of course, the taste is always the most important aspect. So cheers, here we go. And as you can see here from my reaction, it really was pretty good. On the fruit front, even in the business class, you so often see this just slapped in to a bowl or on a plate. I thought they made a little bit more of an effort here as well to present that a little bit nicer, and it's good to see such a decent looking croissant, even this far from France. Now, given my crazily early start that morning and only 90 or so minutes sleep, it was a good time to kick back and enjoy some of the more creature comforts that the seat and indeed service had to offer. Kick off with quite a decent quality little blanket that they provided, and then a little bit later into the flight it gave me the opportunity to get the seat back into its slightly more reclined cradle style of position, which of course wasn't lie flat as again you'd expect on the more longer haul aircraft, but actually given the way in which it sinks down into a more cradle position, it was plenty comfortable enough for a little bit of shut-eye on that particular flight. So as we make our final descent down into beautiful Hong Kong, it's a great opportunity for me to encourage you all to share your thoughts down in the comments below. I enjoy hearing from each and all of you. From my side, I thought it was really, really good. I definitely use Cathay Pacific again across Asia and frankly anywhere in the world. They really are a superb carrier. Anyway, that's all from my side today. Really hope you enjoyed today's video and I'll see you in another one real soon.